Hi, I'm Paul Brodie in my shop again. There's a man behind the camera, Mitch. You all know him. I'm going to be a fabricator today. We got a few things to do on the Cub motor. I was looking at the points cover and don't like it. So I got some aluminum and I want some fins on there. So we're going to go to the lathe, we're going to go to the mill, and we're gonna shape this. We're gonna put a nice radius on it, and then we're gonna mill some fins. So that's one of the things we're gonna do. I don't think we're gonna waste any time. I don't have any stories for you today, so let's go to the lathe, okay? I'm gonna machine a slight radius here. So I don't have a CNC, so it's gonna be one hand against another, or with another. I put the radius on there because if it's a casting, it would probably have a radius on there. So I'm trying to make it look like a casting. Okay, these two holes is what holds on the cover. That's it. Now we just have to make all the grooves. It's just a 1/4 inch end mill. It's a ball nose end mill, rounded, so I have to go kind of slow because it's flexible, right? This is kind of a fun job. It's easy for me because in the comments someone said that on the Tiger Cub assembly I was looking stressed. So I need a job that's kind of less stressed. This is perfect. It takes all the file marks out. Let's see what it looks like. Well, there we go. I can see little marks looking down, so maybe I'll polish those out sometime else. But for right now, I think I'm happy with that, so we'll do. Okay, moving on. We can cross one thing off our list for today. The next thing I want to do is, see this hole here? I need a blanking plug, and I do have one, but look at that. See where the screwdriver gets in there on previous owners, and they make a real mess of it. I tried to buy one of these off eBay, and I found one months ago, and it was made out of stainless, and it was a little bit pricey, and I hesitated. And then it was gone, and since then I can't find one. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to make one. Oh, let me show you this. So, see, there's one here. This is a smaller size on the thread, so it doesn't work. But this is the screwdriver that I made. Can you see how it fits right in there? And you can loosen and tighten, and you don't end up that. When you use a standard screwdriver, that's when you do the damage. So that's my custom screwdriver. It's just 1/8 inch flat bar, cold rolled. That's probably 50 cents, no, $1 worth of material. So, okay, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna make some threads on the lathe, but I wanna show you something here. Can you see that line? That's a casting line, that's what I think. And if you go on the other side, 180, there's the other casting line that you can just see, and it's in line with the slot. So it's a die casting. So I've made up these blanks. So can you see how that's going to work? That's where the thread's going to go, right there. So I can hold it here in the chuck. I can machine a thread, and then when I hacksaw that off, I can hold this part to make the slot, and the slot gets made with, big surprise, a slotting saw. So this is 1/8 inch. See, they're both the same. So that's what we're going to do. So I can't take this over to the lathe and try it on the thread. So what I've done, I've heard about this and someone mentioned it some other time. I know there's a name for this. Well, there's a set of rods and they've got a name. So what I use is, this is just welding rod. This is MIG welding rod that I use for TIG welding, 035. And if you put it over the thread like that, I've bent it so that it holds, then I can measure. So when I'm making the thread in the lathe, this is the first time I've ever done this. I've never done this before. So it's a certain size. So if I use the same rod on the thread that I'm going to make on the lathe, it should fit, right? What can go wrong? I don't know. So if I try this in here now, see? Can you see how it's got a little bit of slop? That means that I can probably go, I'm guessing, maybe 1 thou or 2 thou larger when I measure. I'm going C4, because that is 20 threads per inch. If you look, see there? Where is 20? Right there. There's 4, and there's C. So this is C, and that's 4. That's how you set the pitch. Then you have to slow everything down. I'm going to zero my caliper, my digital caliper. It's not a vernier. It has no vernier scale. So there's my 0. And then we'll check here. I got 22 thou to come off. I got a thread file here, and there's the 20. Okay, cross fingers, hope for the best. Let's go see if it works. If the O-ring seals it, then I'm good with that. Okay, the O-ring's on. Oh. Well, I like that. That looks fine. Gonna hacksaw this. This is going into the lathe. We're gonna put a radius. See how that's got a radius on it? A radius. Then we go to the mill slot. That slot turned out quite well. And we have a blanking plug. So I've got a smaller screwdriver here. Nice. So you see this here? This is it's the rocker feed. So there's an oil line that goes in there, but that's 5/16 British standard something. We have to fit an oil line on there, and I'm going to show you what's going on with the fittings. So this is a casting. It got made in California at Webco, and it fit this engine really well. This is the oval head. This is the square head, and apparently the casting is a little bit larger. So can you see all these marks here? I took a carbide bit, and I had to work it on 3 different areas there so that it fits. So anyway, it's on there now. This is the stock oil line that goes on there like that, and it's really thin. I don't like it. So Aramaki to the rescue. This is an Aramaki oil line, and I like the banjo fitting on the end. This is 5 mil. I tried to buy some locally. Nobody has any 5 mil locally, so I went online. It's coming out of China, but it's 5 mil and it's a 1 mil wall. So the ID is 3 millimeters, and you can see here. So what we have here, this is Aramaki stuff. This is a banjo bolt. Can you see how it's got a hole for the oil? So I think I'm going to use one. I'll use one of these. So what we have to do is to drill this out and tap it. I did buy some taps. I've got a brand new 7/16 bottoming tap, $13 and change. So we're gonna set this up in the mill. We're gonna face it off. We're gonna open up the hole, open up the thread. So how do you hold the casting? That's always the big thing. How do you hold the casting? So what I did, I machined up these. Can you see that? Now I can clamp that in the mill vise. Works fine. Just have to make these little buttons. So let's go back to the mill. We're going to face this off and drill and tap it. And then we'll go to the lathe, make a little insert. And then this fitting will be like that, ready for when the copper tubing arrives. And then we're going to make oil lines for the Cub. That's the plan. This is Anchor Lube in an old bottle, in case you didn't know. It works really well on aluminum. So I'm going to start the mill, switch it off. I'll plunge the tap, and then I'll tap the rest by hand. So I switch it on, switch it off, plunge. It's a machine tap, so I have to go back and forth. It's not a spiral point. And we are down. Okay, couple thou under, but that's fine. and that goes all the way down. Okay. So I think I'm going to Loctite it, and I'm going to put in a fiber washer, and then that should be good. So first I have to tap it with an 8mm. Went too far on my off switch. Oh well, no damage done. Okay, so for installation, what I got to do, I got to screw this down. So I got an 8mm Allen screw, put some washers on this so I don't go farther than the end. And then I can just put in a 6mm. I'm going to put some Loctite on this, and then we'll put that in there. I wanted to show you my Allen wrenches. I decided that I bought them 4 or 5 years ago, and I don't really use them at all. So I'm going to start using them. And I bought them at a bicycle show. I paid quite a bit of money. It was well over $100 US. And they're beautifully made. So here we go. I'm going to start using them. Okay. So this should break. There you go. Okay, this breaks loose. Okay, that's what's supposed to happen. So let's install this just to see what it all looks like when it's done. My little T-handle wrench. No, I don't know if the thread is too long. It might have to be shortened, but we did add some space up here. But you'll just get an idea of what it's going to look like. Okay, it's the right length, so I think that looks quite smart. That's it for today. I want to thank you for hanging out in the shop here with myself and Mitch. We like coffees. If you buy us coffees, much appreciated. Give us a thumbs up if you thought this video was okay. Subscribe. See you next time. Take care.